Hello, welcome back to my channel for more intuitive insights and tarot by me. I'm Scott A. Yates. So, I wanted to come on today and talk about um, this prediction that's been made. People think it's a prediction that's been made for the 24th of September by a member of parliament in Germany. And first, I want everybody to know that this has been presented as something that it's not. So I watch Marfugal News, Marfugal TV almost every day with the host Adam Marf, otherwise known as Marf, and he's kind of a he's kind of in the middle of the road between normies and truthers. That's the only way I can describe him. Um, but anyhow, concerning this video that was going around and people saying that the 24th of September was going to be a big day, is going to be like a day that everyone will remember for the rest of their lives, kind of like where you were on 9/11 or Pearl Harbor or something like that, if you're old enough to remember Pearl Harbor. So Marv, and he's got a huge audience, something like over 100,000 viewers, and he's from all over the world. And his audience is very discerning, very skeptical. And so they went and they looked at this video, and people who understand German watched the entire like parliament session. And what came from that investigation was that he did not mean to refer to the 24th of September. He was talking about the action that the Vladian country took against the UKR country. Okay, if you know what I mean. If you don't, then somebody will explain it to you in the comments. Uh, so yeah, he was talking about that event that had happened in the past. And he said that was a day that everybody's going to remember where they were when it happened. Well, maybe not us, but in Europe, I guess, because that was a much bigger deal in Europe than it was for Americans or for me here in Asia. Plus, we all know it's just part of the movie anyway, and there are other things taking place there. Um, I've heard Janine speak about this in on her website, and obviously she didn't hear about this information that came out that this member of parliament was talking about what I just said. I'm not going to repeat it. And he misspoke. He had meant to say February 24th would be a day that everybody would remember. Okay, so I've looked into this myself, and yes, I can tell you that he never predicted or was warning that something was going to happen on the 24th of September. And I just want to take a moment to tell people something that I've learned in my years of prophecy research. Um, I was once a Seventh-day Adventist for about 10 years. I spent most of that time studying prophecy. And one of the first things that you learn as a student of prophecy, Bible prophecy, is that no man will predict the date of his coming, talking about Jesus Christ. And I think this is not just his coming, but in all of the those types of end times events, right? Uh, ra- some people call it the rapture, the solar flash, um, some ascension, a day when people ascend, and I think all of those can be categorized as the rapture, right? And In the Bible, it says, no man will know when this happens. Uh, and as I was saying, one of the first things you learn when you're studying prophecy with the Seventh-day Adventists is never give a date. You can't give a date. Uh, and the Seventh-day Adventists know this very well because one of their founding members was a man named Miller in the mid 1800s. And he did very careful calculations with the book of Daniel and a lot of other things. And he came up with a date of October 22nd, 1844. And it's funny because that's 2 days after my birthday. I always thought that was interesting. But he predicted this date, and he used this mathematical system and Bible prophecy, and he convinced a lot of people that he was right. And so on that day, thousands of people put on their white robe and they climbed up onto the rooftop and they waited there patiently all day. I think Miller himself said at one point he was going to pass out and he had to be helped down. And that day was forever known as the Great Disappointment. So this is something I've always known, and I've noticed in the past 2.5, 3 years since this new awakening happened. Many of you have been woken up in the past 2 or 3 years. And in groups that I'm in on Telegram and in certain circles, people keep making these predictions. One of the most recent ones was Jets in White. By the way, that Jets in White prediction sounds a lot like the Millerite prediction of 1844. I mean, the way he hyped it and the way a lot of people, I was having people ask me, Scott, will you please do a reading on this? We're so worried that, this is going to happen the way he said it. And he gave some really wild story too about Trump leading people off into the West, which he got that from Lord of the Rings, by the way. I think that's my opinion. And I refused to do a reading on it because I told people I can assure you nothing's going to happen on that date because nothing ever does because you cannot predict these dates. So I can tell you not to worry about the 24th of September. Nothing's going to happen on that date. Or if it does, it's going to be unrelated. It's going to be a coincidence, let's say. But I will do a reading on this. And what I'm going to be asking is why was this put out into the collective consciousness? So evidently somebody like edited that video in a way to make it sound like he was saying something was going to happen. So it was evidently a long speech. They just took out the parts that they wanted people to hear, and also it was in German, so they were told what he said. But yeah, why? Why was this put out? By whom? And is anything going to happen on that date? Like I said, I'm sure nothing big. It's not going to be a 9/11 sort of thing. But who knows? So, why was this date put into the collective consciousness? Who was behind it? And is there something going to happen on that date? Or maybe they try to put these things into the consciousness, the collective consciousness, to make them happen. So, were they trying to, whoever they were, trying to make something happen on that day? All right, let me swap my camera around here. Okay. And once again, this is just not a warning, it's a admonition that whenever somebody gives you a date, and I know Ishmael Perez is given a date. I'm not sure if he gave a day, but he gave a year, 2024 for sure. Um, The- I was given a date, not a date, a time frame. I was told when I was 19 years old that it would happen in my lifetime. Now I'm 58, and who knows, with med beds, I could live to be another 100 years old. Who knows? So my lifetime could end up being a very long time. But still, I just know it's going to happen in my lifetime. Date, time, day, year, I have no clue. Okay, so uh, who, why, and will there be something happening on the 24th September, 2022? Okay. hmm Okay. So what we have here is a distraction. Uh, there were some anons or an anon uh, who was either asked to or they took it upon themselves to send this message out. We have this message that was being sent out. It was done intentionally, knowingly, knowing that nothing was going to happen as a distraction. For whatever reason, this anon was given a task of putting this out there as a distraction, uh, because there's something else that's going to be going on that day. Okay, with this Two of Pentacles. I want to point out that we have no major arcana here except for this Hierophant that's in this um, lesser important position of clarification. And actually, it's the distraction was meant for the whatever's left of the cabal. Okay, so that's all it is. Nothing major is going to happen on that day. What is going to happen will be something behind the scenes, that this was a distraction for. Okay, so let's put to rest these dates. Can we do that? Well, listen, you do what you want to do. If that's something that maybe you thrive on, people giving dates and you need to get these dates coming, and then they pass and then they come and then they pass. If that's maybe that's something you need, but I know for a lot of people this creates what I was talking about as the great disappointment. And I don't know about you, but I don't revel in disappointment. So I'm wondering, anybody who was following Jetson White religiously, since he is a very religious kind of person, do you still listen to Jetson White even after your great disappointment? Just curious. Tell me in the comments. Okay, and the other thing I want to look at here is Trump was on Hugh Hewitt recently. I think it was a recent video. I just saw it today for the first time. And Hugh asked him, um, if he is indicted, would he still run in 2024? And first off, I want to point out that Mr. T says that there would be no prohibition against him to run again in 2024, even if he were indicted. But this is not going to be a reading on whether or not he's indicted. This is going to be a hypothetical reading. What would happen if he gets indicted? And Trump said, you would see problems in this country, the likes of which you have never seen before. So what does he mean by that? And then he also said the people won't stand for it. Is that true? What do you think? I mean, I haven't been in America for 18 years, so I don't hear people talking around the cashier checkout or the water cooler in the break room. So, what do you think? what would the average people do? Be problems in this country, the likes of which you've never seen before. Never seen before. So bigger than the events on Capitol Hill of January 6th. So once again, I'm doing this as a hypothetical. What would happen? What would we see in America that would be the likes of which no one else has seen before? You've never seen before. Shit. It's not your day. So the hypothetical, what would happen if Mr. T were to be indicted? Okay, so the Queen of Swords, and she brings truth, right? She brings out truth, and that's across from the Emperor, and that is Mr. T. He is the Emperor, ever since he went around the world and all those countries capitulated to him. So, by the way, I'm getting that right now, it seems like there's a 50-50 chance of this happening. And what it would do is you wouldn't see people marching on Capitol Hill with pow pows, but what you would see is masses of people who were on the fence about Trump uh, coming down off of that fence and joining the ranks of the MAGA crowd. Uh, these are people who maybe for a long time weren't sure about it, and over the past months, they've been slowly waking up to the idea that that he's been railroaded with the Russia, 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 and time after time, it's been proven that he's innocent. Uh, that the laptop from the hunter was real, and so this would be actually a catalyst that would bring him so much support that when he does run in 2024, if that happens, okay, if we get to that point, if something doesn't happen before then, he would win in such a landslide that no amount of shenanigans could help the other side, the liberals, the Dems. So that's what I see here. It would and this makes me think that it might happen. I think right now they're considering it's a 50-50 chance. Maybe if this has to go to 2024, which it might, okay, um, then they might do let this happen to create this groundswell of people coming over to the MAGA Republicans. Okay, so that's all I got for you today. I hope you enjoyed this short video, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. Goodbye.